Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders, at Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. Another episode going into news and prophecy, linking to things happening worldwide. All right, to the Holy Scriptures, the volume of the book, to show the elect, the remnant, all right, those who have ears to hear, that the words that are written, all right, in this book are faithful and true, all right, and also to condemn the heathen nations, beginning with Esau, Edom, okay, the ruler of this current beast system, as well as the rest of the heathen join unto him, all right, who are attempting to make a name for themselves, you know, in the form of establishing, you know, a new world that exalts itself against the Most High, His Son, the chosen people, all right, and rearranging the narrative as the Lord speaks about the immutability of His counsel to be immutable, meaning it can't be altered, it can't be changed, it's fixed. And we have a sure word of prophecy where we get the victory, Lord willing, we're of that number, over the beast, his image, his mark, okay, and get renewed, you know, get the new bodies. All of these things are written. And Esau, Edom is in the process of trying to undermine, you know, the what is, he is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and 2/3 of our own people as well are in the condemnation category, as they are not bringing forth fruit meat for repentance. We're in a time of grace, and it's just about up. And the things that are happening in the planet Earth are clear indicators that, you know, our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah HaMashiach is getting ready to be sent back. All right, but before that, we know civil unrest has to take place. Okay, more false flags. Okay, mass judgments. Okay, martial law. The issuing forth of the Charagma and World War III. Those are the things we're looking out for. Okay, because in the midst of World War III, as America is being, you know, obliterated or getting ready to be obliterated, the elect are going to be delivered from Babylon the Great and the various different captivities where we have been scattered. Now, if you look at, you know, some recent happenings, which I just did, you know, a news and prophecy going into this situation, but I wanted to bring this article out off of your boy Bones Jones, you know, Infowar website. If you look at the title, it says, "Must watch Romanian MP claims Turkey earthquake a deliberate warning to keep in line, all right, with globalist agenda." And NATO, you know, in the West, you know, are being, you know, is being talked about how they could be responsible for ultimately causing that earthquake or whatever that was in Turkey, which when you look at the way the buildings collapsed, it didn't give me earthquake vibes. It was no shaking. The buildings just collapsed. Okay, and we know we're in the time where the devil was coming down with great wrath on the planet Earth. You see, and this is all a part of it. And these key things can lead, all right, to what the scriptures describe as, you know, the area where Turkey is, you know, linking with Russia, okay, and joining forces to come up against, okay, eventually we know NATO. A lot of the EU countries are going to join. A NATO country, Turkey, is going to join. All right. And eventually assault is going to be laid on Israel and eventually Babylon the Great. So these things are very, very key, because now, along with this being blamed on Babylon, all right, NATO, okay, you have this situation here where it's being said, and there's a lot of evidence starting to come out that, America, as Biden said, all right, if there was a war in Ukraine, okay, that they would pretty much stop the Nord Stream pipeline, which is 2 pipelines. And at the time that they were attacked, they weren't really running because of the sanctions and, the tension between, Russia and, NATO and the EU and so forth. All right. But this was a clear act of terror or war. Now, when this happened, okay, when this happened, it was said that Russia destroyed their own pipelines. All right. And one would have to ask, why would Russia destroy their own pipelines? Okay. And Biden himself said that they would attack these pipelines if Russia went forth with war in Ukraine. All right. Which there was a deal made years ago that NATO wouldn't expand any further towards Russia, towards the east. All right. And with the talks of trying to get Ukraine as a part of NATO, the Russia had every right to defend itself, seeing that Babylon is sending weaponry over there. But in the media, Russia is the bad guy. When we see who's profiting off of this, all right, and we see where it's all going now, if this comes out that Babylon did, indeed attack these pipelines, okay, which only one of these pipelines got, running. All right. But this is business. Okay. Because like this says here, the Nord Stream pipelines are owned and operated, all right, by Nord Stream AG. Shareholders, the Russian state, yada, yada, yada. Both Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 run from northwestern Russia under the Baltic Sea, all right, to Lubum, Germany. Okay. And we know that Germany was affected by a lot of the sanctions and and we know Babylon constantly tells, Germany, not to do business with Russia, but it's like, damn. So the Lord got these devils right where he want them, where they're getting ready to go into a royal rumble with one another. It's getting ready to be all out war. It says Nord Stream 1 went into service in 2011, whereas Nord Stream 2 was completed in 2021, but has never gone into operation. Okay. So in September 26, 2022, the pipelines were targeted by a series of underwater bombings and large gas leaks. At the time, the pipelines were not operating due to ongoing disputes between Russia and the European Union, all right, over the war in Ukraine. The blast occurred in the economic zones of Sweden and Denmark, and the leaders from both countries later stated that the explosions appeared to have happened as a result of a deliberate attack, okay, which is an assault on Russia, okay? It's an assault on Russia. So you have, in one instance, America is being blamed for this, and you have this instance, which we got to read this, where they're being blamed for this earthquake, all right, that is on pace to, have, put to death 50,000+ people, man. Okay? This is catastrophic. Now, let's get a scripture real quick. In the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. And the 12th verse says, therefore rejoice ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them, the elect. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. So woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. So things on the earth, things in the water, in the seas, okay, the rivers, things are happening on the planet Earth. We have to talk about the Ohio train derailment, okay, which, the pretty much has put toxins into the air and into the water. See, this devil is coming down with great wrath. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. And we're going to show you things that they're doing in the earth that prove that they know they have but a short time. And all of these things that are happening, all right, are happening for him to set up a very chaotic environment on the earth to where all the waters are toxins and poisoned. Okay, all of the animals and the cattle are poisoned and dead. So out of chaos, he wants to bring order. And eventually that's going to lead to you, all right, getting a charagma, because there's going to be outages. There's already talks of foreign objects in the sky. So they're liable to do anything and have something or some boogeyman to blame and be able to implement all manner of evil and bring forth unrighteous decrees as a means to bring order out of a chaotic situation. This is what's happening on the planet Earth. That's why the scriptures say, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath. As a matter of fact, let's get Revelation, the 20th chapter real quick. Okay. Which you just had a group of disgruntled individuals go into Revelation. Okay. And the 20th chapter and the 4th verse and went completely off. But maybe we'll do a lesson going in on that. All right. And you got the weirdos on the comment board bigging them up. No matter how off Jake goes when it's a scoffing tour, the people on the comment board just agree. No matter how much they're going off in the scriptures. Anyway, Revelation 20:7, and when 1,000 years are expired, okay, which is ultimately speaking of the Renaissance period, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. And the Renaissance has led all the way up to where we are now with Babylon the Great, NATO, the EU, the revival of Rome. And as it says in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, they come to do the bidding of Satan. And if you can't look out into the earth and see that these people are doing the bidding of Satan, all right, then you need prayer, or you just might not be right. So Satan, or the children of Satan, have been loosed out of their prison. And since then, they've went out through the four corners of the earth, spreading lies, blasphemies against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, pseudoscience, evils, stealing, removing the landmarks, stealing lands, renaming the nations, just completely being assholes, man. And it's going to lead to their end, which is going to be started by a war where Gog and Magog is going to gather together a company of nations, which is going to lead to Armageddon. Okay, so what's happening in the earth can't be ignored. Okay, we got to put emphasis on these things, because according to Ezekiel 38, once Turkey links with Russia, okay, that's going to lead to some heavy friction in the planet Earth. Now, this Romanian MP claims that the earthquake that happened in Turkey was a deliberate warning to keep in line with, all right, this word, that agenda, these people, the elite. Now, It says a Romanian member of parliament leveled an extraordinary accusation against the West, claiming they deliberately triggered the massive earthquake in Turkey as a warning not to stray from the, elite agenda. Okay? Now, this is what she said. For 3 years, we have been experiencing a real campaign of mass killing worldwide, either through alleged, you see that word, demics, and he, in the imminent need to to force juice, and Capri Suns, that take people back to the spirit world. Now, we're going to go down. Let's see here. All right. The MP claimed that U.S. geological weapons caused the 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Turkey and Syria that killed over 40,000 people. Okay, so Babylon is being blamed. Or through wars that reduced the world's population, as we know that's one of the things they want to do, but rearranges international politics, realign power, poles, and alters borders. That's the type of wickedness that these devils do. Yet we're worse than them, according to some Israelites. Okay, so they don't want to talk about Esau. They want to sit and talk about us all day. But look what Esau's doing, rearranging and altering borders. We have lived to witness the production of earthquakes on command, via their technology, man, their left-hand blessing. Okay, they're able to, alter weather patterns, bring famines. All right. This devil is absolutely losing his mind, which is actually an attack on Turkey by the greatest of the world, who totally dislike being set up by Erdogan, the president of Turkey. The MP argued that the NATO was deeply disturbed by Turkey's attempt to mediate the Ukraine conflict, block Sweden from joining NATO, and Erdogan's snubbing of World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab. So the Turkey president is doing all of this. He was trying to mediate the Ukraine conflict. He blocked Sweden from joining NATO, and he snubbed Klaus Schwab. You see? It says, but no one thought that the people would have to die, so many people, in such a terrible way. And it's just a warning, because it wasn't the most populated area of Turkey, he said. She also highlighted how 24 hours before the earthquake, 10 countries withdrew their ambassadors from Turkey. So let's see what 10 countries that was. Okay, a list of countries that pulled their ambassadors out of Turkey 24 hours before the earthquake. Canada, U.S., Britain, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Holland, France. Basically, members of the NATO and the EU. Okay? So why did they pull their ambassadors out of Turkey 24 hours before the earthquake? You have to ask yourself that. It says, it is very clear the president, Erdogan, was punished for his courage, dignity, and honor, and for his closeness to the Russian Federation. And we talked about in the last News and Prophecy how this particular region where Turkey is, in biblical prophecy, were said to join forces with Gog and Magog. Okay? So big things are happening. Now, how Russia is going to respond to that Nord Stream noise of America, being blamed for it, because Russia said they need a better explanation, because America is saying this is just absurd. But they're like, we need a better explanation of what do you mean? You know, the facts are out there. It says, in fact, a position of the neutrality in mediation for peace, she said. In addition, it is desired to divert people's attention from Ukraine. So a lot of things are happening to divert attention also from Esau as getting caught. You see? And everywhere you look, he's being made a fool of. It says, where representatives of many countries have already begun to shout against the despotism and orders given by President Zelensky, as if he is ruling the world and someone is obliged to send weapons and participate in his war, in a war where he sacrificed his own people and destroyed his entire country. But Russia is being blamed for everything. Anyway, it is worth noting that a decade earlier, Islamic scholar Hazma Youssef warned that Turkey would be punished by Western interests for breaking free from the International Monetary Fund's debt servitude system. Okay? So, again, this goes into major prophecy. Let's get the book of Habakkuk. Okay? Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth in that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. That thick clay is that debt. And Turkey is a part of that mindset. Okay, because the as it was stated in this article, that Turkey broke free from the IMF. Okay, debt servitude system, as has befallen debt-free nations like Libya, which Libya is mentioned in Ezekiel the 38th chapter as well. Again, this book that we have and the understanding we've been sent from on high is key. You should not be downplaying what's happening in the earth right now. This is big. So that thick clay, as we always go into, is that debt. I bought yet. All right. I bought yet. Weight of pledges, heavy debts. And this is a debt, all right, based system, man. And people are in captivity to that. Nations are in captivity to the IMF. Which who runs that? Who runs these banks? Okay? The IMF is there for any disaster. When a nation gets in a disaster, who do they go to borrow the money from? The IMF. They just have all of this trillions of dollars to just give. But what do you take it on as a loan to get your economy back? But you're in debt to them. Now, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee? As a matter of fact, hold up. Verse 6 is what I'm looking for. Salakia. It says, let's start at Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth in that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So these nations are complaining about the West. They're complaining about his ill dealings. Shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee? And Turkey is going to be a part of that, pursuing the Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, Arowat. Many, that area is very key in prophecy. And awake that shall vex thee, and they shall be for booties unto them. They're going to go to war with you. They're going to spoil you. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for violence in the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. And this is speaking of you Edomites. Okay, going back here, let's listen to the full transcript. Let's go to a good point. Speaking about the president of Turkey, it says, moreover, his position, we just read that. Let's see here. Of neutrality and as mediator in the Ukraine-Russia war deeply disturbed NATO, especially since Turkey is the second great power from a military point of view within NATO. His position to block Sweden's ascension to NATO, his speech in Davos, as well as a gesture of leaving in the middle of the press conference defying Schwab. So he was down in Davos talking shit. Okay? Let's see if we can find his speech. Oh man. He probably is talking all kind of shit. Man, hold up. Okay, this was some years ago.
Israel left Gaza completely. No occupation. You know what it means? Every day, almost must. There are many details that you have to know.
Çocukları nasıl öldürdüğünüzü, nasıl vurduğunuzu çok iyi biliyorum. Aykut devlet vasfını kazandı. Prime Minister, turn this over to our host. Prime Minister,
Ladies,
Professor Schwab.
thank you very much. If you stay for one.
So he got up. Oh man. I'll have to look more into it, but it's a good one to look into as well. But let's just stick to the point. Going back here. So he defied Schwab. It says did not remain without an echo in the cold world of leaders in the world. They remember that. So what happened in Turkey with this earthquake, putting all of these pieces together, but no one thought that the people would have to die, so many. All right, and I'm gonna jump. Okay, I'm gonna jump here for the sake of time. Let's see here. But 10 seconds before the occurrence of the so-called earthquake, the Turks closed the pipelines. In addition, 24 hours before the earthquake, 10 countries withdrew their ambassadors from Turkey. 5 days before its occurrence, the Romanian Minister of Foreign Affairs issued a travel warning for Romanian citizens in Turkey, although there was no danger, as did other countries. By killing people, they served their interests. The maps shown on all the television channels show that there was no epicenter, but a line with 1,000 of earthquakes, which shows you that it was some technology involved. It says the Turkish Secret Service are investigating a possible criminal intervention. Okay. What followed later on a chain reaction after the destabilization of the tectonic plates in the region. So it's going to be investigated. It said it is very clear that President Erdogan was punished for his courage, dignity, and honor, and for his closeness to the Russian Federation. In fact, a position of neutrality and a mediation for peace. In addition, it is desired to divert people attention away from Ukraine, where the representatives of many countries have already begun to shout out against the despotism and orders given by President Zelensky, as if he was ruling the world. We read that. Anyone who speaks of peace is put on the pole of infamy and attacked from all sides, because the Lord wants war in the earth. The Lord don't want peace in the earth. He wants war. It says, this is what happened in Romania when I started the unique initiative. Neutrality for Romania, peace from Bucharest. They all rushed at me. Although now, after 1 year of war, almost all of them say everything that I said and supported from the beginning, claiming now they are owners of these ideas. Pelagiarists, Pharisees, Judas. All right, because they have this alliance, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, why can't we chill? Anytime somebody comes with an ideology of peace, they get balked at. But this is the spirit of Esau, Edom, and all of these NATO and EU countries are breaking up. Let's get the book of Daniel, the second chapter and the 40th verse. It says, in the fourth kingdom, Rome, and its revival shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. That's the military might of the beast system, the revival of Rome. All right. And that's what got them there. The you know, all of this damn wealth, the sword. They should live by the sword. Okay. And that's what Rome did. But now we're living in the revival of Rome right here. Whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, which the feet of the statue, okay, ends with Russia striking and stirring up things to break things up. And again, many EU and NATO countries are going to eventually join hand in hand with Russia, as they're going to see the West is really the problem. They're going to have an evil eye towards the West. See? It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part powder's clay and part iron. Okay, meaning, yeah, they have the sword, but they don't agree militarily. Okay? They don't agree economically, I mean, which is going to lead to them dividing militarily and fighting against one another. It says the kingdom shall be divided. And what does the scripture say about a kingdom divided? Mark the 3rd chapter in the 24th verse. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. That this is the end of you Edomites. All right, because you are too powerful. Okay, so what the Lord is going to do is allow you to be divided and come up against your own selves. And Russia is a big part of that. What's happening in Russia is very, very key to things popping off. Okay, so economically, you know, morally, they don't agree, but they still have that sword. But the Lord is dividing that sword. He's dividing these various different agreements that these various different nations have with one another. Okay, so it says here, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in the strength of it the iron. All right, the iron represents the military. Okay, they still have that sword. All right, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. The miry clay represents how they don't agree economically. Okay, they don't agree, which is hard to move forward when you're in miry clay. You see, as it is written in the book of Psalms, the 40th chapter, the Lord has delivered us out of the miry clay and set our feet upon a rock so we can what? Walk freely, have a smooth path. So the Lord is breaking things up for you devils. All right. And we cheer it all on. We love it. And as the toes, because there was a vision of a particular statue, and the end of it represents the end of Esau's world, the end of the revival of Rome, the fourth beast being revived into the earth. As the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Let's look at this word broken. Okay, so it's partly strong, but they're broken. They don't agree. Here it is. You have a NATO member openly, siding with Russia, openly defying the elites, openly, opposing key moves to establish an NWO. Thabar, to break, to be broken in pieces. Shabar, to break, to rend, to wreck, and the Lord is wrecking. He's crippling. All right. This beast system is being crippled from within. Okay. It's being shattered. It's becoming fragile. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another. So these Edomites have went amongst all of these various different nations, overthrowing governments, paying off leaders, mingling themselves amongst these various different nations and really undermining them and setting up their own thing. And they've created this beast system as they've stolen all of these lands. All right. They've created this beast system. NATO, the EU. Okay. And they have agreements with one another. They have alliances with one another. But guess what? They shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Okay. So the Lord is going to use the aspect of the clay and them not agreeing to divide that sword. You see? And have them to fight one against another. As a matter of fact, Revelation, the 17th chapter. Revelation, the 17th chapter. Okay. Man. I'll start at 14. This beast system shall make war with the Lamb. Because it talks about how they're going to leave the fight they have with one another to fight against Yahweh Shai in the book of 2nd Ezra 13. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, where Babylon the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Okay? And they have control. They have dominion on the planet Earth over the people through this system. And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, okay, the EU, okay, which started out as 10 nations, but now it's over 28 plus, because they have fatness of the earth. And they've mingled themselves amongst, all right, and made agreements with different countries. But all of these agreements, or they're going to renege on them. This is something key in prophecy, man. I'm keep saying it. So the 10 horns, the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, America. All right. Germany's going to be up in that. France is going to eventually be up in that. We know Turkey's going to be up in that. And various other countries are eventually going to side and hate the whore and shall make her desolate now and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So these various nations all agreed to give their power into this beast system until the time of the words of the Lord be fulfilled, which is happening now, where they're now turning on the whore. Okay? And as we can see, Romania is a part of that. It says here, let's see here. Because of you, people have died and continue to die. You all have hands stained with blood of millions of people, all right, killed for the interests of some madmen who wish to rule the world. Wow. Unfortunately, at the Romanian leadership level, we only have incompetents, idiots, plagiarists, thieves, robbers, criminals, cowards, okay, traitors. And Rome is a part of what? Let's see here. I know it's either the NATO or the EU. I believe it's the, let's see here. Yep. Boom. So Romania is a part of NATO. Interesting. It says here, she cursing out the elites. These incompetent, awarded by foreign countries for special marriage and their support, but at the expense of Romania, are trying at the moment to turn Romania into a neutral sovereign state, from a neutral sovereign state into a servile and offensive state, though with some great powers can exercise their warlike actions and turn Romanians into cannon fodder for the benefits of others. Judas, all right, they're referring to America as Judas, the West, all right, because we have this alliance and you fucking it up. It says, we will stop you at any risk and at any cost. Leave Romania to be sovereign and neutral. We are not interested in anyone's wars. We have always defended our nation and land and have not attacked anyone. You should know we have always been in the losing camp. Even when the camp won, we have always paid enough. Stop here. Romania will keep its neutrality no matter what you promise to others. You traitors, you have an obligation to keep good neighborhood relations in the region. Whatever others ask, if you're not able to defend our peace and you are not, then leave or we will take you down. It is very clear to me that at this point, things at the international level have gotten out of hand. The fools are playing as God and they think they have won the game. Woo! Oh, man. Because of these demented and psychopathic people who cause wars and cataclysms using unconventional weapons, we humans are just members they can get rid of. It is imperative that all the nations and the people of the world rise up together, wake up from the daily comfort of carelessness. And just like in 1848, we will begin the struggle for liberation from the yoke of psychopaths, of demented people who steal our happiness in the beautiful world that we live in. That's why I urge all of you who still want to live in a world of God and not Satan, I urge you to rise up to a world revolt to free us all and to destroy these enemies, because in this moment we are in legitimate defense. Take the claws off Turkey, take the claws off of Romania, take the claws off of God's people, warning the psychopaths of the world. If you need people to die, we need you to perish too. It's all or nothing. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Oh, man. Wow. And this is,
right, folks, welcome back. Third hour has begun. We'll be joined shortly by Angela McArdle, the chair of the National Libertarian Party. Before we do that, I want to play this video. It is a woman named Diana Sosowaka. She's a Romanian member of parliament. Here she is talking about the claim that the earthquake that recently devastated Turkey and Syria was, in fact, a man-made weapon from the U.S. Let's watch. She says, thank you.
Right, so I just read it, you know, but prophecy is taking place right before our eyes, man. So these are some key things. I just wanted to touch a little bit on that. You know, again, if America is indeed found guilty and Russia runs with that narrative, you know, how will they respond? You know, so war is being prepared. Okay, prepare war. Let's get that real quick. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither cause thy little ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay? Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So the Lord is getting ready to put the spirit on these heathen to make moves. Let's get the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter. In the 4th verse, and that day shall one take up a parable against you, okay, even of your own alliance. Again, the Obadiah tells you the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Okay, so how many more NATO nations are going to buck up against the West? How many more EU nations are going to side with Russia? Okay, in that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. Wasn't that her her cry? He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he have divided our fields. Even within Romania, there's division. She called the leaders incompetent. Okay? So we're living in that time where people are making a cry against you Edomites. You're being called out, you know, by even people of your own confederacy. Okay? Obadiah, verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And that bread is his debt. That, you know, those who have aligned themselves with that dollar, a lot of those nations are looking for ways around that dollar. Okay, and this is why you have the BRICS being formed and various other things. People are trying to free themselves from the grip of oppression of Babylon, and you know how we have these alliances, you know, to keep ourselves safe. But then here it is within the alliances, the West has constantly got us in captivity to just go on a war and fuck it with people. So the stage is set for all of these nations to turn against Babylon the Great. So keep an eye on this Nord Stream ordeal. Okay, and keep an eye, you know, on Turkey. Things are getting ready to happen. We'll be back more. Shalom.